Welcome to the United Show. It's Nathan Ellington, your host for today. And we're talking about the Manchester United versus Brentford review. And look how I started that. It was poor. Kieron, he's here. He's here. He's going to take over. Come on.
I don't know what I missed. But I came in and you saying it was poor. I don't know. I'm assuming you weren't talking about the game because you got a 3-0 victory. A 3-0 victory. What? The intro?
I started the broadcast without starting the intro, mate.
So what you do in future, Nathan, is you pretend like that's meant to be the way. So you start with you on there. You say, we've got a jam-packed show ahead of you tonight. We're Man United with a 3-0 victory. Let's get it underway. And then you go to the intro. Boom. Play it out. Ride it out, mate. All right. Who have we got in here at the moment? We've got no one so far. I know you're there. I know Paul's going to be there. Let us know what you thought about that victory against Brentford. It was goodbyes to Matic and Mata. But will it be a goodbye to Cristiano Ronaldo? I'm sure a lot of Man United fans will be out there saying, I hope not. Nathan, what was your thoughts on the game? Your thoughts on saying goodbye to Mata, Matic, and do you think that will be the last you'll see of Cristiano Ronaldo at Man United? At Old Trafford, at least.
No. To be fair, I don't want to see the back of any of those three that you've just mentioned at the moment. It doesn't make sense because with the amount of players leaving the club, you can't have everyone leave. They got to stay because there are better players. Mata he's pretty much the best player on the pitch. Mata and Ronaldo, they were the best two players on the pitch today, and then Matic was closely behind them. So that shows how bad how far we are behind, the leading pack. But obviously Brentford were pretty poor today. They didn't even press us, allowed us to play, allowed us to win the ball back. And we made it easy. We did make it an easy night. But to be fair, I was happy with the result, of course, but I was still watching the game and thinking, man, even without pressure, we can't play high level, You can't play that high level. So, I don't know.
But Ten Hag's coming in, a lot of changes to be made. One I did notice, I know he gets a lot of pelters and he does a lot for Man United, but Bruno Fernandes, I think Ten Hag is going to have to clean up on his his general play because that will take him from where he is now to like just those little tiny things will make him so much of a better player. Just not because when he's passing that ball out and Man United breaking, not with much pace to add, but they were breaking. And when the ball slightly goes behind the player and he's got to check back to get the ball and then move forward, or there was one time when Fernandes goes for a first time ball to swing out to the right back, and it's lofted in the air and dropped down with snow on it to Lindelöf to deal with, and it's just like. He needs to tidy up those things in his game because, like, for all the goals that he scores, the assists, and the nice little tricks that he does, those things, like, it kills the good things.
It's so annoying. You know what? It's weird because I'm looking at that match and I'm saying, who's standing out like a sore thumb? Eriksen and Mata, for their ability to control that ball, manipulate the ball however they want. They can manipulate it however. And then I'm looking at Bruno saying, you should be one of those players. And you're just not. I know you can score goals. I know you can make assists. But you just haven't got that quality under pressure to keep the ball. And the quality to know that touch is going to be sick. And that your pass is going to get where it needs to go. And I don't think you can coach that. I don't think you can coach that into a player to be more reliable on the ball. You can't. Yeah. You're either reliable or you're not. You know what I mean? So you can coach in, where players need to be in passes and stuff. But I think we're going to continue seeing that kind of stuff, and we're just going to have to live with it. I think because with the football that we will probably be playing with once we get the other players in, we'll need his output going forward, his goals, his assists. And that should outweigh the other side of it when we do have all the better players on and we make him have, force the decision making out of him. I guess that's the only thing I can see. But yeah, I got nothing but praise for what made me really enjoy the game was Mata and Ericsson. Seriously, every time they got the ball, you can see their streets ahead up here. Streets ahead. It's unbelievable. But yeah.
You can see why there's links with him potentially going back to Tottenham already after them seeing what he's done at Brentford in that short space of time.
Few and far between. Yes, there's not many players like that in the world, let alone in the Prem. Like it's few and far between. You can't find players like that. So everyone should be biting your hands off. Imagine he was in an Arsenal in the hole. He was in the Tottenham again in the hole. He was at United He's one of those players that has to be in a top 6 side. He has to be there. Yeah. So it's just not. Someone's going to snap him up because he is that good. Still. Yeah.
All right. So let's get on to the player ratings now. David De Gea. You've given David De Gea a 6. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he didn't really have too much to do. Didn't get pressured in the game. Was called upon a few times to make saves with his feet and stuff, and he done what he had to do. But there's nothing really glaring that I could say that pushed him up to a 7. You don't want your keeper having to play more than a 6. To be fair, if your keeper's playing a 6, I'm happy. And he's done well today to just keep a clean sheet. And the Brentford didn't really cause too many problems in the end.
Yeah. All right. Dallo, you gave a 6.
Yeah, because he played that ball forward for Cristiano. I know he was offside. I think which one was it? The one where he got through. Was that the first one? Or did he play the one to Elanga? He played a nice ball up the field anyway. And then there was times he played bad balls back to De Gea and trying to put him in hospital balls. Trying to put him in danger at times. I'm thinking, come on, lad, you can't play the ball that hard and in the air bobbling back to your keeper with no pressure on you. And so it was just times where what are you doing? What kind of crosses are those? Or what kind of passes are those? But then there's other times where he was doing a bit. So I was kind of like, that's cancelling out that. The good is cancelling out the bad today. And he couldn't get higher than a 6, sorry. I would have liked to have given him a 7, but he just still lacking the quality when there was not even much pressure. It happened to a lot of our players today. Lacking that quality that you need. You got space to do whatever you want today. You should be able to look superior, like totally superior. And we're still misplacing passes, which are like making players stretch and making players run backwards to get it and stuff. It's like when you play against the big boys, you can't afford to do that. But yeah.
Very, very true. Lindelöf, a 6.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I should give him a 7 because he didn't put a foot wrong. Not that he had any work to do, to be fair. When he was called upon, he kind of stretched him for that header, that nice ball that went in behind. He did well with that. You know what? I think it might be fair to say, you know what? He was getting a 7, same as the next. I think the back 2 at the centre backs probably did similar. It's a bit unfair to give him a 6 and then give Varane what I'm going to give him. So I'm going to give Lindelöf a 7. I think he did okay. He didn't put a foot wrong. Looked steady Eddie, to be fair, today. I was happy with him.
All right, Lindelöf changing the mark and gets a 7.
Yeah, it's only fair. It's only fair. Lindels. Well, I call him Lindels. Well done.
Oh, he's got a nickname now. He's in your good books. Raphael Varane.
Yeah, same, to be fair. I think he was just exactly the same. Not really called upon to do too much. Brentford, for some reason, weren't really like that force that they were early on in the season or in some of the games that they've done really well against bigger teams. Today, they were just laying down on their bellies like, listen, come and tickle us and do whatever you want. So, we obliged today. So, yeah, so Varane gets a 7.
What do you think that is? Do you think it's just the Premier League is so intense it catches up with you? The injuries? What do you think it is with these teams when they come up from the lower leagues and they start really well in the season and then tail off towards the end?
Well, what I noticed today is defensively, Brentford were really poor, switching off too many times, letting people in behind, letting Mata run off him, letting Cristiano in behind, like letting Bruno run in behind, right through the middle of them. So that's poor. I feel like maybe they realise that if they do press forward, they'll leave themselves even more bare ass to the back, just like we get done. So maybe they felt, you know what? Let's try and keep it tight. Let's sit back and let's try and counter Man United, because that's what a lot of teams have done. So I think that was probably their direction, instead of let's press high and let's do whatever we need to do. And I think we're playing into Man United's hands here if we don't do that. If you get what I mean, if we do press forward, we'll be playing into their hands. So let's sit back. And I think they got the tactics wrong against us, because I feel you pressure us, we're going to lose the ball. And you probably would have scored more. You would have got chances, much more chances than sitting off us. But that's the manager's decision, and he lives and dies by it. And this time it played out to be the wrong decision. And that's really what it is, isn't it? You know, remember Leeds, you know, where the manager, you got sacked. But I like the fact that he said, listen, I don't care if I lose 5-0.
Yeah.
I'm going out to rip the next team. And that's why they won so many games. Even though they lost so many games big, doesn't matter, because he kept on going his own way. Yeah. And that's what kept them in the league, kept them higher and higher. But like this year, they had so many injuries to the players that can help them score goals and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what really hurt them a lot, isn't it? Bamford being out for so long, and, you know, vital players in their side.
Yeah.
And they don't have a second squad to come in and do stuff. So that's what happens when them little teams come up. They either stick to their plan, or they get whooped and then think, oh, let's just shut up shop. And then they don't do what they're good at. And like I said, that's what I liked about the manager at Leeds. He just kept doing what they're good at. And he didn't care what happens on one day or another. I'm going to continue attacking the way we want. And we'll win one game 4-0. We'll beat one of the big teams 3-1 or 2-1. Because one of them days, it will happen. So,
all right. So, Telles.
Yeah, I felt he definitely got a 6. I'm not liking, to be fair, I'm seeing his true self. Played okay today, had some nice little patches, but there's times he got caught on the ball. They should have scored. It's just he's out of position and he's running like slow. It just looks like you can see he's not the quality that we need. But like I said, he wasn't even under pressure, but he's still not really the quality that we need. I can see we need much more in that position. And yeah, he had an okay game. Can't really complain. Same time, I want to see more. I'm watching the game. I'm still a bit, oh, come on. Just give it to Mata. Let him do his thing. Just give it to him. Forget everyone else. Just give it to him. So yeah, it was one of them ones where Telles, I'm not, even though we're winning, I'm not the happiest guy on earth, because I know we should be wiping the floor when they give you this amount of opportunity and space. Your sound is gone.
Oh, that's my bad. Next up is Scott McTominay.
Yeah, McTominay's going to get a 6, just because everything he does is pretty much telegraphed. He'll never play a disguised ball in his life, I don't think. Everything just seems so standard. I like him. I love his work rate. I love his tenacity. I love his heart. I really do love all that side about him. But really, it's not giving us much more than standard football that you see at any level. In fact, that's how I see it. I want to see more, but I know he doesn't have more. So it's one of them ones where it's just, you know, you're given the license to really do whatever you want, and you still play a 6. So, you know, I'm not being down and, Debbie down or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, he's played a 6. He didn't really do that well. You know, the football isn't slick. It's not pop, pop, give it back, pop, pop, make sure it's right to your man. People are stretching for balls, and everybody knows exactly where he's going to go. His whole body has to face the way he's going to play, and he plays it. You just can see it's like you know everything he's going to do like 10 seconds before he does it. It's mad. Yeah. Telegraph. But yeah, 6.
6 for Scott McTominay. It's definitely a position they're going to be upgrading in the summer.
We
He's been screaming out for a centre midfielder to own that centre midfield spot for a few seasons now. Scott McTominay was 6. Nemanja Matic, last game for Man United, made it a good one.
Yeah, he plays his position well, doesn't he? He gets the ball, wins it, gets on it, controls it, tries to push out of it, probe with the ball, look for players, get it, give it back. You know, he tries. He tries his best. We can see he's on his last legs, but he did do what he needs to do. He just controls his area. And that's what you want for your players. And that's what I see in him. Even though he's old, and even when he first joined us, he was old, getting on when he left Chelsea at that time. Look how many years it's been, and he's still our main man in the midfield. That's madness.
Yeah.
But I got to give props to him. He's come and he's done what he needed to do again. The Man United side, that's 1-3. So Matic, he set up the goal again. Just like the other day against Chelsea. He set up Cristiano again. I think that one might have been offside, but still, he's done well. He's linking up well. He's keeping that ball well, and he's protecting the back four. Love it.
All right. Bruno Fernandes gets the early goal.
Yeah, he gets the goal. That's why he's got the 7, to be fair. He would have got a 6. But yeah, like you said before, like there's times where you just think, how are you like not keeping the ball as well as you should be? There's no pressure on you. How comes you've let the player get the ball? I remember one time, no one was even really pressuring him. And he went to play the ball and the player blocked it. And I'm like, how are you letting him block the ball? Like, there's no one on you. You're not even getting pressured. You shouldn't let them touch the ball. Never not touch it once. I can just see he's a little bit loose on the ball. And that's the thing you're mentioning. He's loose on the ball, and then he does make them forced passes, which you just know are not going to get there. But again, that might be a byproduct of why he gets so many opportunities, makes so many assists, because he tries too much, if you get what I mean. But hopefully he could be the one that's like Eriksen, where everything is done. Is so like, what is that word now?
Precise. Yeah, it is. It is.
You make that pass, you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what.
Yeah, they're different kinds of players. I'd say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Christian Eriksen's the kind of player that would be in like a Real Madrid kind of team, because you don't mess around in there. You don't make mistakes when you're talking about a simple pass. Your set pieces are on point, corners are on point, free kicks are on point. Like, you're a danger at every point.
Yeah.
Whereas Bruno Fernandes could be that, but he's too sloppy, and that's the difference. That's the difference.
Exactly. That's what gets people upset when he doesn't play well and he's sloppy like that. You're kind of like, what are you doing, lad? And I said before the game I wanted Mata to play, and I was thinking maybe Bruno should come out. But then I didn't realize that obviously I'm there thinking I want pace on my wings, but I want Mata playing. So I was thinking, let me just see he plays in that position. I'd play Mata. That's how much Bruno is that good. I know how good he is, but I still would play Mata because of them other things at times. But it was nice that he played okay today. And he got his goal as well. So I'm not going to blast him. He did do okay. He didn't do too many mistakes. And that's more down to Brentford not playing into our hands. They're playing into our hands. They played right into our hands today. Gave us whatever we wanted, and we took it. Said, listen, do you want free? Yeah, go get free. Okay, thanks, guys. See you later. Cheers. So, yeah, lovely. Well done, Bruno.
All right, Bruno gets his goal, and he gets 7 today. Anthony Elanga.
Yeah, I think he was really lively, always wanted to move. He was one of the 2 players on the pitch, I guess that, not 2 players, I think one of the few players on the pitch that is looking to move off the ball, make something happen to try and get seen. And, it's just one of them things where when it comes to Elanga, it's that touch. It's that extra bit of quality that you need to make a difference at this level, like a massive difference. And I can see that obviously, I don't think he's as good as a Welbeck when Welbeck came through at United, because he did quite a bit when he came through. And I didn't think he was particularly at them levels either, but he did do a bit more, if you get what I mean. So he's a bit behind that kind of player. But you're never going to fault his work rate. You're never going to fault him being a danger. He's like the replacement for the Dan James of this team, if you get what I mean, in terms of what you need in the side. Like, we need that energy. We need him running in behind, keeping defenders honest. But he's got a bit more about him than Dan James, if you get what I mean, in terms of what he can do on the ball. He's not so predictable. But then he's not as quick as Dan James, who's going to have to make people run. So it's one of them things. But yeah, he did okay. He worked hard, so I'm not going to give him less than a 6. But he didn't deserve a 7. He was just short of a 7 because, and obviously he didn't score. But he did do some nice stuff. Like I said, he's just short of a 7 for me. Just short of a 7. So 6.
Another one making his last appearance today. Juan Mata.
Who's his class? Who's his class? You know what? I just can't believe this guy has been sitting on our bench for so many games.
I know, it's crazy.
It's just a joke, mate. I don't know who thinks that this guy should not be playing. Watch that game again. Anyone want to watch this game again? Not that you want to, but seriously, he's a baller, mate. Every time he gets the ball, he knows when to probe, when to pass, when to run. He even running off the ball at his pace, he will do people because he knows what to do, when to do it. It's an art. It's a massive art of passing the ball at the right time and getting it back and making those runs. He's the only player, you watch the game, he passes and moves. Passes and moves. Every time he gets the ball, passes and moves. The only time where it's a no-need pass, you know, when he gives it back to the defender, when there's definitely no chance of anything happening, just keep it moving, keep it moving. But as soon as he gets it further up the field, you see his mind coming into play. He's always scanning, seeing where everyone is. When people start moving towards him, he's going that way. The minute they're dropping off, he's just popping. That's why I say I can see that in Van der Beek. I can see that in Mata. I can see that in Eriksen. I can see that in them kind of players that lure people in and make things happen. And they've got that control over the ball. They've got manipulation of the ball that's so good that they ain't going to lose the ball under pressure. And then they're going to hurt you when you make a mistake. He's one of them guys. I don't care how much legs he's got. I'd love to see him stay at United until we get someone who's good enough replacement for him. He should have been playing much more games than he has been. Simple as that. With the way Rashford's been playing, with the way Bruno's been playing a lot of the time, why would he not be going in there instead? So anyway, I'm disappointed that we didn't use him so much in the last 3-4 years. Again, he showed today he uses class, and he's gonna be missed. I don't care what anyone says. He's still gonna be missed, and it shows. We try to go all of these other players, all these young players, quicker players, whatever, but they're still not good enough on the ball compared to this man. This man oozes class. If he was in a City right now, everybody would be screaming about him. Oh, he's still amazing. He's still this. They won't be talking nothing about his legs. He's unbelievable. He will score goals. He would score goals. He would make assists for fun if he was at a City. I'm telling you now. Anyway, I'm not trying to say he's the best thing anymore, but he's still got the levels that you need.
Yes,
around you.
City managed to get a few extra years out of players like David Silva, and Matters is that type of player where he's got so much technical ability and vision and so many good attributes that you're not got to rely on his pace. It's not important. And there's so many games which he could have been brought into when Fernandes was in bad football form, when Fernandes needed a break, whenever. Like they could have used him so much better, but it for me it seemed like it was the easy option to he's the easy guy to just say no to let down. He's not going to kick up any fuss. He's not making up any noise. So for every manager that didn't pick him, it was like, oh, don't worry about one. He'd just crack on. He'd just get on with it. And it's a waste of talent.
Spot on there, Kiers. Absolutely spot on. That happened to me because I was such a nice guy when it came to things like that. And I regret that because I remember other players throwing their toys out the pram, and it forced the manager to have pressure on him to play him over me. I hated the fact that I was like that in the end. Now looking back, why I just allowed that, and thought I'll just make my football do the talk. I'm not going to say anything. You really have to do something. When you've got ability and you can do stuff, then when you don't play, you've got to go mad. Like you've got to do within the boundaries. You've got to do something to make the manager feel like, listen, I'm pressured here. I've got to play him, because he's chomping at the bit, and he's like, you know what? He's not happy. If I keep him like this on the bench for too many times, he's gonna want to go. That's what I wish I did, and that's what I wish Mata did. But he's not that kind of guy, and sadly, we've hurt ourselves because of it. So yeah.
No, Nathan, it's a trait in people which I don't think you can always look back on it and think, oh, I wish I did, but it's something that at the time you never do because it's just not. It's not in your nature. It's not in your nature to turn around, and as soon as something goes against you, you're kicking up a stink and throwing your toys at the pram, asking why you're not in the team. It's the afterthought, this burning inside, where you're like, oh, I wish I would have said something. Would that have made a difference? Well, you feel like it clearly would, but it's not even worth. It's not even worth thinking. It's the same people that complain in a restaurant. Those people that complain in the restaurant will always get something free. People that don't say anything, they ain't getting nothing. Exactly. Cristiano Ronaldo. Will it be his last game at Old Trafford for Manchester United?
No, I hope not. I was one that obviously early on in the season, while he wasn't playing so well, at times not giving some of the other side of the game, he's now giving that side of the game, as well as he's on fire, mate. He's on absolute fire. On and off the ball, he's on fire. Every chance he gets, it's a goal. Like right now, he's like back in his full form. You get the ball to him. We're playing, obviously, we're creating a little bit of chances for him, and he's going to put them away. And I wouldn't put it past him to score in the last 2 games and score 2 in each of the last 2 games and end up being up there with Salah. But obviously, Salah's probably going to get a couple more goals anyway towards the end of the season as well. So you're probably not going to overtake anyone. I don't think he's going to win it, but I'd back him to get 20. I'd back him to get 2 more in the last 2 games. I will.
You can see it. He'd be going for it, wouldn't he? He'd definitely be going for 30, it. Yeah.
37 and banging that many goals. I just can't believe this because we've been poor and he's still banging goals for fun. Game after game after game, this guy is just not stopping. So he deserves his 8. Man of the match. I had to give him an 8 because he's outpaced Rico Henry. I call him Henry, Rico Henry. He's outpaced him, burged him on the floor, cut across him so he had to foul him, and then got his penalty. Scored a goal that was slight offside. And I'm like, wow, this guy, it's just great. It's just great to see that he's still got crazy ability at this age. And there's not going to be anyone else like him ever again that's going to be that long. That's why I call him the greatest of all time, because of how long he's done so much for. Like, I know the best player of all time for me is R9, but this player is the greatest of all time in terms of the amount of the body of work, the amount of time, how he stayed fit, how he's gone from winger to striker, bagged over 20 plus goals every season for the last, I don't know how many years. No one can come close to that, and nobody will stay that fit for that long. It's just not going to happen.
100% agree. And the people that want to turn around now and say that he's just a goal merchant, he's just a tap, he's just this, he's just that. And if you look back at what he was like when he was younger, like he was just like, I ask you to look back at when he was younger. Don't just throw out statements. Don't throw out nonsense statements which you know full well people aren't going to go back on and check. You go back and see what this guy was like when he was younger. Because I watched Ronaldo's 100 Premier League goals the other day. And I was thinking about that person that said that it's a joke that Cristiano Ronaldo is regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. And Tony Cassano. I'm going to call him Tony Cassano because that's who you are, Tony Cassano. Yeah, with statements like that. Like, come on. This guy is an absolute machine. He came in as a winger, tricky, like almost too tricky, too much, pacey, and then we're just getting knocked from pillar to post all over by the Premier League team. So what do? He decided to bulk up and change his game, adapt his game, simplify it slightly, but still add them little extra bits, the little touches, the little turns.
Untouchable.
Like, don't give me that. Don't give me that.
Like
the chop. He made the chop the chop. Like, he made that chop the chop. It weren't like that. That was Cristiano Ronaldo. If you've got your own move, if you've got your own special move, then you're one of them. You're an icon. So don't give me none of that nonsense about he's not one of the greatest of all times. He is one of the greatest of all times. No arguments.
I've got that in that, mate. I don't even want to stop there. He was tearing 4 and 5 men a game. No one could touch him. Then they had to come in and slide him up and take him off his feet because he was that good. Yeah. So I remember he was a difference for Man United back in them days where he would carry the whole team past all of the big boys. All the big boys on his own. Score worldies every week. Or run past 5-6 people every week. Like, it was just ridiculous. Then he became a mad goal machine at Real Madrid. Yeah, he became a mad goal machine at Real Madrid.
In his final seasons at Man United, he smashed all the records. When he hit 30 plus Premier League goals or something like that, he scored like 50 goals or 40 goals in all competitions. It was disgraceful. It was disgusting. And then he went to Real Madrid and just carried on doing it.
You don't understand how hard it is to be a striker in the first place. Like, that's a specialist position, and he was a winger. He was a winger, right winger, out of in a 4 in midfield. He was right wing. Anyway, this guy.
Because what was the team? It was Rooney, Cristiano, Tevez. No, it was Tevez, and then I saw him bring on Louis Saha, and I was like, that ain't fair. What's going on there? No one can have a word. Like, you can't do that. That's cheating. You can't do that. So it's a joke. Man United have always had a joke with teams. So Fred
comes on. Nice to see him back in the side. After Mata went off, to be fair, I fell asleep. I didn't see any of the play after that. I woke back up and I said, "Did I miss anything?" My son was like, "Don't worry, Nate, Dad. It was nothing going on. The game died after that anyway." So Fred, Jones, Cavani, they all come on. I'm going to give them a 6. All of them. I don't know what happened with any of them. They don't even did anything because there's no time, and just let the game run out, didn't we? There's not really much going on after that.
Yeah. So Jones, is this going to be Jones's last?
I hope so. I hope he can get to move on and go and play somewhere. But maybe, look, I just don't know what we're going to do at the moment. So I'm looking at the likes of Bailly sitting there and never playing. So I just don't get why he doesn't get time. And then they look at like the history when they came in the club and go, wait a minute, this guy was good. You know, this guy was our best defender at one point. And okay, he's been injured, but then he's been fit for the last year now, the whole season. He's not been injured. Why is he not playing? So that means, but then you got to decide what you're going to do with Jones, because you got to have Jones or Bailly still in the squad until you go and replace them. You can't just have 2 defenders and that's it. So whether it's Jones's last game or Bailly's last game, but I'm more likely to see Bailly's going to be moving because he's not even playing. He's not getting a chance ahead of Jones, who's been out for years. So I wouldn't stick around if I was Bailly. I'd be like, listen, get me out of this place, mate. I need to play the rest of my career before I get to 40. You know, imagine you sitting on the bench again being another matter where you're just not going to play the rest of your career. You can't have that when you're that good. And if you're fit and you've got all your injuries, go and kill it. Go and play for another top 6 side and go and absolutely destroy it and show why you deserve to be in a top 6 side. I think
you think he can,
play week in, week out. Of course he can. If he can stay fit. He's been fit for a while. He went to the African nations, stayed fit the whole time, did well there. Only lost on penalties, missed a crap penalty, but still, he did well. He's been doing well since, even when he came back in the Champions League, he absolutely killed it. Then he comes back, absolutely killed it in one game. Then he scores an own goal. Then he gets taken out straight. and it wasn't even really that bad. So for me, I just feel like it's a bit hard done by, especially after he's been fit, and nobody should really be talking about the injuries again unless he gets injured again. But yeah, that's just my thought on him. But yeah, that's Jones. Same thing. He might be his last game, but it might not. End of the day, we need to make sure we replace them before we try and get rid of them all. We can't get rid of everyone and then say, "Oh, well, what are we going to do now?" You know. So,
yeah, and this is probably why Jones was given those years on his contract, because they're looking about and thinking, is there anyone out there that we can bring in for next to nothing that's willing to sit on the bench, bide his time, and is of the level better than Jones? No. Is there anyone coming for the youth Franks that is going to be that fourth spot that's better than Jones? No. So we'll just sign him up on another deal, and that's why they do it. It's just an easy win for him. But it is probably about that time. Got a new manager. You need new structure coming in. Time to totally to wipe the slate clean. And as we know, there are younger Man United defenders coming through that can sit in and be that fourth and fifth spot. So yeah, it's time for him to move on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. That is all we have time for. Thank you for joining us tonight, Nathan.
Been good. Thanks for joining me.
Happy Eid.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice today. Stuff in my face.
I was going to say.
And back to fasting again tomorrow because I lost 7 days because I was ill for 7 days. I need to catch up my 7. So I'll be doing.
I was going to say. I bet your stomach was like the size of an acorn.
Well, I wish, but I didn't give it enough time. You know, normally you got the whole month, and it does get down to that. But when you do half, and then you wait for 7 more days, and then you do a little bit again, it's not doing the same effect. So anyway, it's not about trying to lose weight, and that's not the reason behind it.
No, it's not. It's not.
Anyway.
It's not what it's about. It's not about losing weight, people.
But I wish it does two jobs at once.
Yeah, it certainly does. All right. Thank you for joining us, people. As I always say, smash that like and subscribe. If you are watching on Twitter, make sure you come over to KS1 TV and smash that subscribe button. I always put the link in the chat, in the comment section, so make sure you press that and come and join us live. Yeah. Apart from that, peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.